Moving on to Niger now, the Junta-led nation is considering rerouting its oil pipeline that has been at the heart of a diplomatic dispute with its neighbor Benin. Niger is now looking at partners to reroute the China-backed pipeline through its mulling cooperation with Chad and Cameroon, while a deadlock with Benin remains. Niger has also been facing severe internal security challenges that have disrupted the pipeline operations. The nearly 2,000-kilometer pipeline was built and is operated by a Chinese firm, the China National Petroleum Corporation, or the CNPC. Its construction began in 2019 when Niger and the CNPC signed an agreement with Benin for enabling the exports of Nigerian oil. Now, the pipeline begins from the oilfields in Niger and ends at the Seme port of Benin. Now, as Niger is a landlocked nation, it needs Benin's help for its exports. In April of this year, China agreed to give Niger a $400 million loan to help recover from international sanctions and to increase its oil production almost fivefold with the help of the pipeline. Niamey was supposed to repay the loan by supplying crude oil shipments to Beijing. However, this deal is in jeopardy due to the challenges that the pipeline faces. Let us discuss them one by one. First, the diplomatic row with Benin. The two neighboring nations traditionally shared good ties, but things changed after Niger's military coup in July of last year, which ousted the democratically elected President Mohamed Bazoum. It was then that the ties started to deteriorate. ECOWAS member Benin threatened a military intervention in Niger, which in response closed the border between the two nations, halting trade. Benin then decided to stop Niger's access to its port for exports. However, it could not carry on with its plan for too long, as the trade halt with Niger was affecting its economy. Benin has since used the pipeline as a way to pressurize Niger's military leadership to reopen the border. However, the Niger junta does not want to budge. It does not want Benin to have that leverage. Moving on to the second problem, which is Niger's internal security crisis. The military coup has resulted in public dissatisfaction. Rebel groups who want the ousted president back in power are now fighting the junta. Just last week, a local rebel group attacked the oil pipeline and threatened more attacks if the deal with China is not cancelled. Niger has now suspended its oil exports to China, which it needs to do for repayments. Also, exports halt is stripping it from all the profits it could make, and now it is considering rerouting the pipeline through Chad and Cameroon. This option was in fact the original consideration by China and Niger before opting for Benin. This proposed pipeline would have run 600 kilometers from Niger's oil basin Agadem to Doba Basin in Chad. From there, it would connect to the existing Chad-Cameroon pipeline, providing sea access at the port of Kribi. However, running this pipeline would also not be easy. The initial plan was shelved due to the security concerns and due to challenges from terror groups like Boko Haram. It is not clear if Niger would be able to find an investor for this pipeline.
The Chad option is not a simple solution, as it involves building a new oil pipeline. We need to find an investor. Will the Chinese, who have already invested in the pipeline to Benin, invest again in the pipeline to Chad? I don't think all these questions have been answered yet. It is a possible option, but it raises many challenges. It's not an easy option to implement.
The stalled pipeline could impact Niger's economic growth. The World Bank had projected that the West African nation's economy would rebound and grow at the fastest in Africa this year at a rate of 6.9%, and it cited the oil exports as a key boost.
Oil exports are a real issue for Niger, as Niger relies on them to circumvent the deterioration in its relations with the international financial community. Because of the coup d'état, many partners have suspended their bilateral aid. Multilateral aid is still under negotiation, but Niger is counting on oil exports to ensure a certain economic and financial resilience.
So, to not lose out on the crucial export money, the Nigerian junta is hunting for solutions. It is yet to see what and how.
On the show today, the T20 World Cup bandwagon has moved across to the West Indies. What can we expect